kumambo wemudenga tiri kuona kumambo weka wemudenga katiri kuona umambo wemudenga wadigani tiri kuona kumambo wemudenga denga katiri kuona umambo wemudenga kona tiri kuona umambo wemudenga amazangu we tiri kuona umambo
Eben Nhiwatiwa was born on 15th March 1949 to Kilia Nhiwatiwa and William Nhiwatiwa in Gandanzara village, Rusape Makoni. Eben Nhiwatiwa is a bundle of surprises which really comes from my name Kanukai. I was born when my parents were no longer expecting to have a child, let alone a baby boy at that time. So they said Kanukai. Since then, really, I see that a lot of things are a lot of surprises to me as well. Things which happen in my life, very good things. They surprise me because I would not have ever thought of anything. Even as I talk as a bishop of the church, is one of the greatest surprises in my life how that happened.
The youthful Eben was joined in holy matrimony to Greater Taremeret's Womanesi on June 2, 1979 in Normal, Bloomington, Illinois. The two were later blessed with their princess Nyasha, who is now married to Tinashe Felix Makarau, the former Ziaki UMCZEA president. Ordained deacon by Bishop Abel Tendekaya Mzorewa and elder by Bishop Ralph Alton, the Reverend Eben Nhiwatiwa served a number of churches and more at Old Mtare Mission, where he served from 1984 to 1991. In 1992, he became one of the pioneering professors at the newly established Africa University in the Faculty of Theology, where he lectured in pastoral theology. In 1974, he graduated with the first overall award from Epworth Theological College, which is now United Theological College in Harare, with a diploma in theology. From Mennonite Biblical Seminary in Indiana, with the one-year certificate in theology. He has a graduate certificate in education from the University of Zimbabwe, Bachelor of Arts from Goshen College, Indiana, and MSc from Illinois State University, a Master in Theology from Candler School of Theology from Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia, and a PhD from Illinois State University in Illinois. During his academic stint, the hardworking Eben had to multitask as he worked on the grounds at Goshen College and in the restaurant at Denny's, something that was already in his blood from the time he worked as janitor at Old Mtare and groundsman during his pre-college year at Epworth Theological College. At Illinois State University, he was the leader of the International Students Association. For his election as Episcopal leader in August 2004, Bishop Nhiwatiwa served the church in various capacities. Why would you describe the Episcopal office as a surprise?
It's a surprise because my background in life had nothing which I could really pinpoint to draw from. You would say in terms of leadership of that high level, I was a nobody. That's how I describe it. But God then lifted me to become somebody. So it's a surprise.
I remember you wrote a book, Humble Beginnings.
Yes.
Maybe if we try and refer that to your personal life, which point can you say this was a humble beginning?
In fact, that book, Humble Beginning, a lot of people joke with me that it actually describes the life of the author. And it's very true. My life came from very humble beginnings. My family, like most families, was not a family which could be said to be well-to-do. You can see from my mother there, she stood there, she had the pair of shoes to go to church. But not shoes to say these shoes are for work, these shoes are for Sunday. She didn't have that luxury. So that came also to be part of the background of my life. Educational wise, I did my studies through correspondence with the University of London, because had I gone through formal school, even if I had got a place to do so, monetary wise it was going to be a challenge. So I had to work in the fields to get money to buy lectures to do my JC then, Form 2 these days. And so I would work right from the start with the little the parents could sell a goat or something to augment whatever I was able to raise.
Okay. Seeing that you have managed to survive during that period, what words can you give to the young people of this generation to live in this macroeconomic with challenges?
What you need to do, my message to the young people, don't just sit there and complain that things are bad. Hang in there, have a clear focus, don't be distracted, know what you are doing and keep on it in a very disciplined manner. Be prepared to take risks which push you forward. You see, in life, if you want to do something because you are comfortable, you know what is going to happen, you'll never go anywhere. I left my parents when they were old enough in 1975 to go to the United States, a country I had no knowledge of. But I said, if I leave them and they die, well, that is God's way. If I die and I'll never see them, that is God's way. Because even my parents, one thing they did, they said, we want you to be educated. My father did not know what a degree is. He said, what is a degree? I tried to explain. He said, whatever it is, I want you, my child, to have it. You see? So when I left to go to the United States, I had this motivation from my parents who had no idea what a degree is all about. That's very important.
Bishop, have you been a member of cabinet earlier before assuming this office?
No, but I worked very close with the bishops. I would get in cabinet as if the bishop wanted me for a particular thing. But for some reasons, you know, I was not a DS. But whenever bishops wanted to send someone somewhere, they would say, Nhiwatiwa, would you go to South Africa? I remember Bishop Jokomo asking me, would you do this? Would you go and represent me? One time he said, go and represent me in the United States in Bishop Felton May's conference. You know, standing for the bishop there. You know, I was not a member of cabinet. All these are surprising. As I look back, I say, what happened? How could I be close to the bishop like that when I was not a member of cabinet?
Okay, and mentioning the past Episcopal leaders for the Zimbabwe Episcopal area, what lessons have you drawn from those good gentlemen?
In the Zimbabwe Episcopal area, the bishops we had, I draw a lot from both of them, from Bishop Muzorewa, his wisdom, his way of communicating the gospel. Bishop Jokomo was really a thinker and organizer. I observed him organizing the 1997 celebration 100 years. That was no small thing. So those abilities, I had a lot to learn from the bishop. With the Bishop Jokomo, I learned a lot because I was his conference secretary. So I would see how he was running the conference. I would see his doses of wisdom coming out in challenging times at the conference. So I really appreciate it. And you learn a lot by observing, not by talking, by observing. Yes.
Okay, in the wider denomination, in the connection, which bishop would you consider a thinker like?
From the way I see it, the leaders in the United Methodist Church are generally good. But when pushed, you can say really here and there you can pinpoint, not to say he or she is the only one. When I got in the Council of Bishops, Bishop James Matthews, he is late now. He was really someone of wisdom, someone of a thinker. Although he was retired, I could read his books, which I'm still reading even today. You get the type of mentality he had, the type of insights he had. But as I'm saying, a lot of them, some of them coming up now with really some gems of wisdom in the Episcopal area.
Okay, and in the Zimbabwe Episcopal area, we have seen new ideas coming in, the Chabadza philosophies, Mururu Kubasa or Pabasa concept. Where do you get those words?
You have asked me a very good question. If you say, where do I get that? It's got this inspiration. But I may also add that I am a person who tries to stretch myself to be creative. I really want a situation where I don't just say the normal. Let me give you an example. I was in Blair Midlands on Wednesday. This is 25th of March. So I said to the congregation, we are doing groundbreaking for a personage. Let us call this personage Resurrection Personage. You know, everybody was saying resurrection. Where, for heaven's sake, how did that come up? I mentioned another local church, I said, at Chikurubi. I said, well, you don't say Chikurubi United Methodist, this is something like that. It's maximum salvation, United Methodist Church. I like to create that. So Chabadza concept. I did not want just to say, let us have partnerships. I said, this partnership must be mentioned and undergirded by a philosophy which motivates people to work hard. Usuku usu. I don't just want to say, I'm going to come to your circuits. No, it's usuku usu. We see each other. That type of mobile college, you know. Those are some gems of creativity which God has blessed me with.
Okay, maybe coming back to give particular reference to the Chabadza concept or philosophy, how has that really helped in terms of creating paradigm shift in terms of projects in Zimbabwe?
That has done actually has given tremendous impact, because our partners apparently have really bought into the concept that you don't help people who are just seated there. In Zimbabwe, people are in the field. They are already doing what they want to do. So what you actually do is to give them a helping hand, is to work together with them, not working for them. You work together with them. And apparently this has helped very much the way our partners, the present ones, and those who are also still showing interest in us, to be very attracted by the way we are doing our work.
Okay. Bishop, what would you have to say in relation to the Ebenezer Convention, the 2014 convention, with regards to the role of laity in leading the church or participating in the activities of the church?
Ebenezer revealed beyond any doubt that we do have able leaders. Our lay leadership, when we say lay leadership, we are talking of conference lay leaders and all the laity in leadership. So Ebenezer showed that we have an expansive array of skills in the church. In fact, some skills we have not even tapped them. So Zimbabwe Episcopal area is blessed not only for now, but even in the future. Blessed to have leaders who know what they are doing, even to the side of the clergy. The clergy are marvelous. Imagine, how do you think of a massive gathering like Ebenezer if you are not trusting your leaders? We knew our clergy would do it. Our laity would do it. Every member would do it. And that's what we have seen. Now we are building head offices. We have no worry at all. This will happen. Yes, there are challenges, but this will happen. And this is already happening. For now and in the future. We are there.
Okay. Looking at the number of clergy, the increase of trained clergy, specifically maybe with reference to the female clergy, in this day and age where we are talking about women emancipation, do you see the church really playing a key role?
The church is playing a key role. We are deliberately and intentionally doing all we can to see that the female people as clergy are trained. Doors should be opened. Not only that, that they are also able to access leadership positions. And how is that done? Leaders, you have to be very conscious when you are signing or appointing or asking for this task to be done, to make sure you are balancing your gender as you do. I think our church is not bad in that area.
And children's ministry and youth?
Oh, children's ministry, that is the plus. You know, the way the church has picked. And you remember Chelsea and the young boy there, how they performed, how they presented themselves at Ebenezer, and the whole nation, to be honest, you could sense that people were really impressed as they watched. So we are doing very much. We are doing very well, and it is my hope and the hope of every person, every leader, every member of the United Methodists, never to forget our children. Youth ministries, those are key areas we need to pay attention to.
Okay, Bishop, let's go back to Ibn Nhiwatiwa's early days. What are the memorable moments?
Memorable moments, the time when I decided as a young person to give myself to Jesus Christ. Because everything now, which seems to be falling in place, is falling in place because of that decision. When I came to Old Mtare in 1966 and decided that I really, on my own, although I used to go to church following my mother, I really have to give my life to Jesus Christ. That was a major decision. All other decisions then kept up. Then the decision to say I must delay going anywhere, like going to work and so on, I must start first. That was a very important decision. Because normally as a young person you say, doing correspondence, no, let me find a job and let me do this. I said, well, let me delay that, so to speak. Let me work in terms of helping myself to study. Then, from there on, the decision to say, if the doors open, I'm ready to leave the country and go for study. That was a good decision. Some people are hesitant. Some people, they don't want to leave the comfort of home, you see. So I left and went to the United States. As I said, leaving parents who were quite of age. I would have said, oh, I better stay around. What will people say if I go? And sure, when I came back, my father had already died. I just saw the mother who was still alive. Those are some of the sacrifices you make in place. But I'll never regret that, you know. The other thing is to encourage each other between me and my wife, who was then my fiancée before we got married. That was a good decision, not to say today you are here, tomorrow you are there, until we got married. I went there after Maruvunzo, so to speak. But I didn't know how were we going to be married. There was liberation war at home. It was not easy to visit home or to have a wedding. So God helped us and we ended up having our wedding in the United States. Yes.
Okay, talking about decisions.
Yes.
What was would you have at some point in the leadership of the church where you took a crunch decision?
Yes. Even the very early decision, remember I started with Us. That was a very important decision of how I was going to lead the church. If you notice, I am not an office person who stays there to make sure the chair doesn't get dust. I don't care if the chair in the office gets dust, but the chair in the local church should not get dust because the bishop is coming there. Definitely, you can't be at every place, but my leadership is leadership of presence, where the people are. where the people are. So it was a major decision because I was not yet sure which way to go. But I said, schools first, everything follows. Then since then, each year I make sure there is an event which takes me to the districts. Other events are there, the tasks in the districts, like groundbreaking, dedication and so on. But I always have on my calendar something which takes me to the people, to see them, to see how they are doing. That's very important. Then, strategic plan. Strategic plan was very important. When we said, let us have a strategic plan, I thank God that that vision came very clearly. Those are some of the, I don't want to say things like you don't claim things as if you were the only one leading. But I think the strategic plan, if I'm correct, it might have happened. It looks like we were treading in new ground to have a strategic plan with a booklet which is written, strategic plan 2012, strategic plan this year and that year. And this is helping us very much. This has led us to build these head offices because the strategic plan said we need that, you see? And it always reminded us, are you doing it? What is the problem? And here we are on it now. Yes.
Okay, finally, Bishop, I remember at your inception, even in annual conferences, you would talk about claiming higher ground, claiming higher ground. Are we still there?
We are still there. We are still there, Pastor Maforo. Not only there, we are touching there. Not touching there, we are seeing there. Not seeing there, we are already seated in there, in the higher ground. You talk of Ebenezer, that's not a lockdown at all. That's a very high ground, not only in the United Methodist Church, probably even with other denominations as well. Then you talk of the head offices, yes, churches are building head offices here and there, but we are talking of us, where we are. We are moving up. Then, not only at conference level, go out there and see the level of transportation, the vehicle. Here, don't misunderstand me. We still have a long way. We still want every pastor to have a car. But just look what we have right now. One person who does not belong to this conference, coming from overseas, said, Bishop, you have the standards of people, of clergy and district superintendent, it seems they are driving. That's what he says. That's Monday. If you are going to drive, Monday. In New York at GBG, we commented, I saw the DS is driving, there were times when he was here, you couldn't see cars like that. And then go and see personages, district personages, even clergy personages. The standards are going up. The question is, who is doing that? Our hard-working leaders, our hard-working pastors, our hard-working DSCs. If you want to include the bishop as hard-working too.